Stranded Dyeworks is one of our new yarns this summer at Stephen and Penelope, so I wanted to show off some of my favorite colors that we just got, and it's a really natural, moody, inspired color palette, and it's really harmonious. So we're gonna find some really unique blendy color stories and some subtle contrast options as well. So the base that we chose from Stranded Dyeworks is called the Merino Nylon Fingering. So it's a really good sock yarn with 25% nylon in it, and the other 75% is superwash merino. So it's really soft, a lot of yardage on this. There's 464 yards in each skein, or 425 meters, which is plenty to do a big pair of socks, even for my size, and we'll probably even have some leftovers for socks. And 3 or 4 skeins of this is gonna make a really nice sized shawl. So Jude dyes all of these in Fife, Scotland, and I can tell that he's getting some really gorgeous, like landscape inspired color stories, because the colors you can see here are so nuanced and have that really lustrous quality to them, where you've got these highlights in the shadows and they're just glowing with depth and dimension. So let's take a look at this purple palette here. I pulled some colorways together that I really liked. This one's called Glass Slipper. It has this like icy blue tone to it, and I loved how Jude put this like pink fuchsia and purple moment in it as well. And then you can lean into those purples more with the colors like Shiner. It's a beautiful smoky gray lavender. And this is called Blue Rinse. It's getting into those more royal purple tones, but it's got that electric turquoise speckle to it. So it's really interesting with that flash of blue. And Antagonist starts getting really murky and moody with rusty speckles, getting more of that pink and purple in there, but it definitely continues that theme of a gray-based misty wash through the colors. And we're ending with Deep Feelings, which is a really like gothic eggplant black purple. So a really saturated, semi-solid, and I think those 5 colors together would make a really beautiful chevron shenanigans, a big dotted rays, or maybe my new garter abyss shawl would be really cool with those 5 purples. All right, I love blues and I love the teal tones that all of these share in common. So this lightest one is Yesterday's Bouquet, and we have Pigeon Fancier and Kingfisher Blue. This one is just one of the most amazing blues I've seen because it definitely has that teal green tone to it. So if you're a teal lover, this is an exquisite specimen of teal dye artistry, I have to say. Kingfisher Blue, it's really saturated and just has that unique glowing blue-green mixture. And I think that could be really fascinating with a more high contrast palette, like with this gold and maybe a pink and then like a light speckle. This makes me really, really happy. This is called Patisserie. The pinky dusty rose colorway is called Grubby Pink, and Caramel, along with that Kingfisher Blue. I think these for an exploration station shawl would be insane, and I would do this Kingfisher Blue as the main color for exploration station. So exciting with that subtle contrast. Really bold with the color contrast, but it's still quite subtle with all that shadowy dimension you're getting from those semi-solids. And I just love a good creamy speckle with those little dusty moments of rose and brown and gold and blue. It kind of brings everything together. So that's an exciting palette. And let's take a look at some more of these solid tonal colorways. You've got some really light moments from the Archive colorway. It's a really light vanilla, warm neutral. And this cold gray is called First Frost. So that would make a really nice light accent to your colorwork projects. If you're blending that with darker tones and mixing colors like this together, and then that light silvery First Frost color really pops out against the darker tones. And then this icy green color is called Favorite Ice Cream. It's really pale and frosty, and it's like a blue-green tint. It kind of leans off of those teal tones from the Kingfisher Blue, but in a really light, more neutral way. So these 2 colors, I think, really share the same kind of tonality. So if you're looking for a 2-color combination for a Chrysler shawl, or maybe a tree fern shawl, all those 2-color contrast types of designs, you'd get a really nice combination, really good contrast with Kingfisher Blue, Favorite Ice Cream. Starflake would be really nice with those. Ooh, and this would be another really good 2-color combo. If you're going for real high contrast, you could take that patisserie neutral and pop it with that vibrant, dramatic red called Red Velvet. So a lot of yummy tones going on here. You've got some solids, semi-solids. Some of the colors are really subtly speckled, and I like the kind of hand that Jude has with their speckles. It's not a blast. It's not going to be crazy and take over in the fabric. If you like that more subtle, natural style, then the speckles in this, I think, are really going to suit your taste. It's more on the minimal side. So OXIDISE has these really subtle dark green and red and gold specks. OXIDISE. All right, let's move over here. We've got a few more lovely colors to get through. This is called Gloom, which would play really nicely with First Frost. They share that cool, icy gray vibe, and we could do a 3-skein fade and go to Downtown. That would really complete this icy, silvery color story. First Frost, Gloom, Downtown, and Downtown has that really subtle dusted speckle effect. And there's some really great neutrals. This is the coffee bean colorway, and I love how this warm coffee bean has that glowy gold coming from underneath, and that would combine really nicely with the caramel. And then you can never go wrong with pink. For me, yellow and pink are like go-to color pops or solutions for my palettes. So if I'm ever wondering what color to add to my palette, if I throw in a great gold or a yellow color, for me that always stands out and looks great, and pink does the same thing. I think it's such a powerful, beautiful color that you can just put with neutrals, you could put pinks with purples, or contrast it with greens, and I think pink always livens up a palette. And look at that grubby pink colorway. It just looks good next to everything. You can get these really romantic vibes with the impromptu colorway and grubby pink. Or with green, you can get these really beautiful garden-inspired color stories. So I think what is a really strong part about this stranded Dyeworks yarn is the overall color story and the color vibe. You can really tell that Jude, is playing off of other tones in his previous colors, so that when you're mixing and finding color combinations, it's going to look cohesive when you're working with this palette. So even when you're mixing up colors from different color families, it's all going to go and have that shadowy, subtle, nature-inspired vibe. So I love it. Can't wait to play with some of these yarns. And that plied fingering weight style is going to be really good for socks, but it's a really drapey yarn for shawls as well. So let me know what some of your favorite colors were. And you can find all these colors at stephenandpenelope.com. And we're really excited to carry Jude's yarn and see what you all make with it. So we'd love it if you tag us and leave us comments on what projects you're making with Stranded Dyeworks. So thank you for watching, and I'll make more of these yarn features and hope to see you in the next one.